Ja Morant just played his first game of the season for the Memphis Grizzlies, who have been struggling and in desperate need of his return, and it's safe to say that this return did not disappoint. Hello everybody, welcome to Os Rusty Bucket. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and drop a like on this video. It only takes 1 second and makes a massive difference on how the video performs in the YouTube algorithm. Real quick, I just want to say sorry this video is coming out as late as it is. We've been staying up, crunching real hard to get this next video out, so we had to, start this one a little bit late. So apologies for that, but that said, tomorrow there is going to be a main channel video, a 30-40 minute long thing about Kobe and Shaq and other things. But with that said, let's talk about the topic at hand in this video, which is the Ja Morant game. I'm also going to be talking about the Warriors-Celtics game that ended in overtime. Talking about the man himself, Ja Morant had an absolutely spectacular performance in this game. In fact, he set the record for most points anyone has ever scored in a return game from a stretch of missed games. I don't know what the exact criteria for the stretch was. Okay, Rudy just told me it was 25. I'm not going to reshoot it and pretend like you didn't just tell me that. We'll just go with it. 25 games. So anyone who's missed 25 games or more, no one scored more points than this. Most people were missing those games because of injuries, but still time missed. So it is kind of an unfair advantage because it's not because of an injury. So he's coming in fully healthy and presumably fully in shape, but one way or the other, still super impressive. He finished with 34 points as well as 8 assists in this one. And he was super clutch for the end of this game. He started off a little bit slow for sure, but as his momentum grew, he started to just dominate and the team went right along with him. They definitely, what was the lead at halftime?
They were down by 24.
Okay, at one point they were down by 24, and that means that they made an excellent comeback in the second half, and it ultimately ended with a game winner from Ja Morant with a spin inside with a layup that hit the back rim. As impressive as the box score was, I think what stands out the most is just how night and day this version of the Grizzlies is with and without him. We didn't get to see what he looks like with Marcus Smart. That's something that I'm very curious about. But outside of that, quite a substantial improvement. It's almost as if this team is not better without Ja Morant, as I had been saying forever now. We got to consider where this team is coming from to what they look like here. They were so terrible. They were so remarkably terrible, and specifically on the offensive end of the floor, where you just don't have anybody that really is all that capable of a shot creator. Like, your go-to scoring option is a guy who's primarily known as a defensive player. The other guy is a guard who is just being asked to do too much in terms of creating for himself and his teammates, that being Desmond Bane. And you have Marcus Smart, who likes to shot create, but you don't really like him to do it all too much. So getting someone like Ja, who his downhill ability, his ability to playmake off of that downhill ability, it just generates so many good looks, whether it's him just straight up getting to the rim and making the shot because it's a layup or a dunk, or it's him passing out to somebody, spotting up for three, or maybe it's not even necessarily that they just take that catch and shoot, but it creates an advantage. I know there was a cross-court pass the other day, that's when we watched the game, that I skipped to the corner, and I don't remember who that player was. I think it's what's the name of your guy? What's the name of your boy?
Vince Williams.
Yeah, Vince Williams. Caught it in the corner, drove baseline, passed it to the big man in the paint for a layup, Bismack Biyombo, I think. And like, that all starts with Ja Morant creating the advantage, making that skip pass. And that kind of playmaking, that kind of ability to generate opportunities on offense has been entirely barren from this organization since Ja has been gone. So having that back, it's going to make a world of difference. I don't know that this is necessarily a hot take that having a superstar tier player back is going to, help your team, no shit. But truly the contrast is the thing that stands out to so much, to a degree where I'm afraid it will almost make Ja appear even better than he actually is, just because the Grizzlies were so in the mud that he literally just looks like peak Michael Jordan, because by contrast to what they had before, he basically is. For the game at large, outside of just the Grizzlies, this Pelicans team was definitely weird in this one. Brandon Ingram was awesome in this game, just cooking the whole way through, but really not much in terms of contributions from everybody else. Zion had an okay game. I believe he was playing with some kind of illness, so he does have a fair excuse for that, but one way or the other, definitely not their best showing. I felt pretty confident that the Grizzlies would not win their first game with Ja, just because I didn't think he would come out of the gates slinging to this degree, because it's pretty ridiculous to do that, period. Either way, he cooked. That's the ultimate point. And as for the Grizzlies' hopes on the season at large, I do think they have a very good shot at making a play-in or even potentially getting a playoff seed, just because we're only about a quarter of the way through the year. Definitely not an ideal start to the year, but I really think Ja is going to rejuvenate them and get them back on the trajectory they're supposed to be, because especially as Bane and Jaren seem to improve year by year, if Ja shows some improvements this year, this core is slowly becoming more dangerous in actuality than just in theory. And I think, maybe a trade or two, round out some role players. I definitely think they're in a good position to make a big move. I really think they should go after Lauri Markkanen, frankly. One way or the other, though, this is a core that can definitely be in the contender tier. I'm going to have to see more as the season goes along how exactly they look. For what it's worth, in the possessions where Ja, Desmond, and Jaren all played together, they were in the 99th percentile in offensive and defensive rating, which is fucking absurd. So, something to be excited about if you're a Grizzlies fan, to be sure. Moving on to the Warriors versus Celtics game. I ended up watching this one because it went into overtime after the fact. I expected the Celtics to just absolutely smack the Golden State Warriors, because the Warriors have been painfully bad this year. Obviously that's, to be fair, it's in contrast to our expectations for this team, because I think with this win, they're one game below 500. Yeah, they are now 13-14 in the 11th seed in the Western Conference. So, they're not great. And the Celtics, I believe, have the best record in the NBA. If I'm not mistaken, the Timberwolves do. The second best record in the NBA. My mistake. They've looked absolutely dominant for this entire season. They were without Kristaps Porzingis in this one, so that's a fair enough reason to not be at your fullest strength, because honestly, as good as Jaylen Brown is, it feels like Kristaps, at least in terms of the tier list of importance to the Boston Celtics, has been number 2 for them. I don't know if he's number 2 in points or anything like that, but just in terms of why Boston's offense works, that versatile, gigantic big man that can shoot the ball and is makes quick decisions, all that, really good finishing option, really good defender as well. All of that really is kind of what makes this Celtics roster work. So it definitely was not them at their absolute best. I feel like they relied on Drew Holiday a little bit too much in this game, and they got a really big game from Derek White, which is awesome. And Derek White is a great player, but also if you're looking to Derek White to, kind of save your offense, you're probably in a little bit more of a desperate position than you realistically should be if you're the Boston Celtics and you have as much talent on the floor as you do. Now, before I talk about any actual important basketball things regarding this game, I want to just quickly talk about something that is annoying to me that doesn't matter even a little bit. Jason Tatum fucking shooting sleeve. Why? Why are you rocking a shooting sleeve right now, Jason? Because looking at their starting lineup, all of these dudes wear shooting sleeves except for Derek White. And I always thought that Jason Tatum's accessory package, we'll call it, of the elbow band, wrist tape, left leg sleeve was the best combination of accessories in the entire NBA. And in this game, I don't know if he's been doing it in recent games. I haven't watched a lot of Celtics games recently just because I know that they're good. What else is there to just other than seeing them kick ass? But but he's wearing a shooting sleeve in this game. I really hope they just didn't have his elbow band, so he was like, fuck it, I'll go with this. Because if that's a change he's going for, man, you got 4 teammates that wear shooting sleeves. You don't need to do it too. I really like the elbow band look. I'm glad that Anthony Edwards is trying to keep it alive. It's the Michael Jordan look, it's the Kobe look, and I think it needs to remain in the NBA. The NBA is still healthy so long as some star level shot creator is wearing an elbow band, and Jason Tatum worries me with this change. But outside of that very important thing, let's talk about how this game actually ended up going. On the Celtics end of things, they were ahead of the pack for a majority of this game. In fact, I believe they had a double-digit lead at halftime, maybe even going into the fourth quarter. I know that the Warriors outscored them by 10 in that fourth quarter, and Jason Tatum had a pretty bad fucking game, so I'm gonna blame that on the shooting sleeve entirely. Jesus, I didn't realize Al Horford was 4 for 14. Sorry, I got distracted by that. As I mentioned earlier, Derek White, fantastic in this game, 30 points, 7 for 18 from 3. Dude, okay. I didn't check the box score before recording this video. I didn't see, he got up 18 3-pointers. What the fuck, man? Yeah, that's just weird. How does Derek White take 18 threes in an NBA game? That's surely got to be a career high for him. Like, it's rare to see anybody take that many threes. Good God. Anyways, I digress. Jaylen Brown was also good in this one, although it definitely felt like his presence dissipated as the game went along. I will say he did make a lot of very good passes, which is nice. Definitely not expecting Jaylen Brown to be a good playmaker typically, but he had 7 assists in this one. Drew Holiday, as I mentioned, I felt like they went to him a little bit too much, but at the same time, Derek White took 18 3-pointers, so I guess I can't be all that critical. Yeah, so the Celtics were ahead pretty much the whole way through. And then the Warriors just started cooking, specifically Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry, which is, Stephen Curry part of the equation is definitely something to be expected. But Klay had a fantastic game, at least in the fourth quarter he did. His overall shooting, not the most efficient in the world, but he had 24 points and it was efficient enough. And for him at this stage in his career, how bad he's been on this year, I'm going to take that as a big W. Jonathan Kuminga was good in this one. It is very liberating to see him finally start to get the minutes that he deserves. Now we just need Steve Kerr to give those fucking minutes to Moses Moody as well. But the other standouts of this game were both of the teams, but especially the Warriors, backup, I believe, rookie center for both of them, but I know certainly for the case of Jackson Davis. But the backup center for both of these teams just absolutely cooked and had way more of an impact than I think anyone would have expected. So for the Celtics, it was, Nemias Coeta? Oh my God. NQ. That is his initials. I have no idea how to say that name. I'll figure it out later. But right now, he had a double-double in 20 minutes, 5 for 8 from the field. Overall, good production from him. But for the Warriors, Jackson Davis was just absolutely monstrous. He finished with 10 points, 13 rebounds, 3 blocks, 5 for 7 from the field. He got a very key assist in this game where he got an offensive rebound and immediately kicked it out to the corner. Kevon Looney was a negative 19 in this game. Meanwhile, Jackson Davis was a plus 25. Say it again? Nemias Keita. Okay, the Celtics backup big man is Nemias Keita. That's a cool name. I like that. These guys were awesome. Davis was everywhere on the boards, on defense, really good rim protection. I would not be surprised if he got a pretty significant role upgrade after this game. The big shot of the game, of course, was that Stephen Curry 3 that sealed it in overtime where he did the night-night celebration.
10-second difference, game clock, shot clock, Curry. Spinning, corkscrew move, inside, no! Paul gathers it in, clock at 3. Curry 3!
Oh, there's the meme!
What a shot!
But yeah, overall, this was a very good game for the Warriors, and I'm hoping that this can be a little bit of a turnaround for them. I'm not a Warriors fan, but I am a Steph Curry fan, and I hate seeing Steph play sub 500 basketball. Excellent game here, and it felt like it could have potentially been a bit of an energy shift. Honestly, maybe this is a hot take, but I kind of feel like the Warriors will be fine as long as they just make rotation changes. Like, thus far, they have been finally actually messing with things a little bit. They're 3-0 in their last couple of games without Draymond Green, ironically. And I just think overall, this roster has enough to be good. It's Steve Kerr not putting these pieces in the right place. There are other reasons outside of that. I'm not trying to take the blame off of, guys like Andrew Wiggins and Klay Thompson. But part of it is also that they just need reduced roles, apparently. Andrew Wiggins is the one that makes way less sense to me. I know that we keep focusing on Klay Thompson, but what the fuck is going on with Andrew Wiggins? He's like in his prime right now, and he's just not. What's up with that? How is he playing he's 2 for 11 in this game? I don't get it even a little bit. But yeah, that's that game. I also do want to quickly go over the Blazers versus Suns game, because that was kind of a weird anomaly. They managed to beat Phoenix, even despite the fact that they did have Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. I'm not going to go too in depth on this one, but I just got to say, man, I know that the Suns haven't had Bradley Beal, and they've had Booker and Durant miss a couple of games here and there. But like, if they're this not good, I won't say bad, because they're the 10th seed, which is not, well, I guess that's bad. Relative to expectations, that feels bad. Bradley Beal is not the difference between this team being the 10 seed and the 2 seed. Like, at what point do we start to question Phoenix? I'm understanding that the injury stuff exists with Bradley Beal. Just because this team's not at full strength doesn't mean they can show you things that can give you an idea of what they would be at full strength. And what I'm looking at right now for what to build on, it's not something super impressive. Losing to Portland is pretty bad, and the way that they lost this game, their perimeter defense was fucking terrible. Like, especially in the clutch of this game, the amount of wide open 3-pointers that Portland got was ridiculous. They overall shot 50%. Because they just got a bunch of very clean looks. Not a crazy amount of attempts, but when they got them, they hit them. And it's because there were a lot of very easy opportunities. So that is a huge thing. They also lost to this team without Shaedon Sharpe. He played 8 minutes. He had some sort of illness and was like questionable for the game. So he only played 8 minutes. And you still lose to this team. Sharpe has an argument for having been the second best player on this team throughout this year. So that's just really weird, man. DeAndre Ayton, I just want to say this. I'm probably going to do some disappointing players list here in the near future, but I got to say he's at the top of that freaking list for me. Obviously, Portland won this game, so I don't want to be too negative here, but 16 points on 18 shots. Overall in the season, his stats are not impressive. 12 points, 11 rebounds. He was talking about going in there and being dominating the paint and rebounding and all that, just for him to proceed to put up even worse numbers than he did in Phoenix. As someone who is a big believer in him, especially in the context of this new opportunity, it's pretty fucking disappointing. I really cannot believe that he, even not being optimistic, I would expect better from DeAndre Ayton than this. Even if I was a DeAndre Ayton hater, I wouldn't have expected him to be as disappointing as he has been. So yeah, shout out to Rudy for editing this video. This one was kind of a just ramble, but I guess they always are. But that's it. Goodbye. Oh, and check out that video when it comes out. Seriously, please be there. Okay, bye for real this time.